Hello everyone, I am Alex and God told me to make this channel to make videos. Well, first of all, he told me to write a book, which I did. Here it is. It's called I Want to Die, a few chapters in the life of Alex Cooper. Um, just before halfway through writing this book, he told me that I was going to, when I'm done finish making it, I was going to have to make a YouTube video, talk about it, read it out there here just so I can help as many people as possible that might be going through anything or even just want to change anything in your life. This channel is good. It's going to be about how our imagination could help us change our life for the better to accomplish pretty much anything we want to. Um, this is my second video. The first video I made is also an introduction. I feel like I didn't very much say much in it, so this is probably like part two. I will start reading the book and we'll go from there. Okay, so it's called I Want. Oh yeah, it's pretty simple. Pretty simple cover. Everything inside of it is straight to the point. When I make this video, so it's going to be straight to the point, and I'm not worried about if I leave anything out because if I do, I could always make another video. But yeah, pretty much this is going to be. We're going to just talk about how our imagination could help us create a better life, better situation, better circumstances in our lives, how to attract things like law of attraction and all that stuff because it is real. We're always attracting things, and it all depends on the state of being that we're being at the moment, of how we're feeling at the moment, and what you expect for to see in your actual reality in your life. So, with that being said, let's just get started. I will start reading this book. Chapter 1. Chapter 1 is titled I Want to Die. I'm gonna read each chapter and talk about it, pretty much whatever comes to mind. So here we go. I want to die. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want any part of this world anymore. I give up. That's what got me here. That's how it all started. It felt as if I didn't belong here, like this planet wasn't my home. It felt as if I wasn't the best father to my son, the right son from my parents, also the best brother to both of my sisters. I don't know what made me feel that way since I'm naturally a happy, positive person. I had lost my job and everything was going wrong in my life. I didn't know what to do and thought about not being here anymore, but I'm not wanting to take my life and just end it because I still value it, all of it, all of life. I beg God to end my life and forgive me. I hope for my parents to have a better son in the next life and for my son to have the perfect death. I just felt trapped with no place out and didn't want to be here anymore. So pretty much this is how it all started. Like everything seemed to be going bad in my life and I just gave up after trying with and later on I realized why. So it's a good thing. Like this is not a bad thing, it's actually a good thing. I'm gonna say this again, my parents are perfect. They have nothing to do with it. It's why I felt this way. Same thing with my son. It's not their fault. It's just I don't know why I felt that way. Things that just lit up after another. So, but it's a good thing because after this, I surrender, which I talk about later on in the book. But surrendering helped out a lot. And when you surrender, it's a beautiful thing because something higher than us is what will guide us to better outcomes. Because our thinking analytical mind is just limited, and that's why I only got so far in life. Because my whole life I was just trying to do everything with my analytical thinking mind. Um, okay, let me go on. Second chapter is called Near Death Experiences. And I will go ahead and start reading it. It'll make sense later on. Well, it felt as if God had heard me in a way because synchronizations started happening soon after. And by now, I was already like meditating and doing a lot of self help and stuff like that. So I see signs like I know that's God talking to us live. When I talk about God, I mean it's like life, like the energy that's inside a tree that makes it grow, the sun, everything is all God. It's all the animals, all the humans. We're all a part of God. We're all part of the same thing that wants to experience itself in 3D world. And uh, it's mainly spiritual, but not once it experience itself, it's in matter, human, 3D. And we'll go about that later on too. So back to chapter near-death experiences. Well, it felt as if God had heard me in a way because synchronization started happening soon after. I noticed that videos about near-death experiences started to appear online, and something inside me told me to take a look. I knew that was a sign, so I immediately started noticing similarities between all the stories and accounts, which was there's different on YouTube. There's a bunch of different channels that talk about near-death experiences. There's more than enough, and it's pretty shocking how there's the similarities between all of these stories, and that's what got me to start researching more and listening to them. These people were from different parts of the world and didn't know each other yet, experienced similar events while they were clinically dead for a few moments. Something in my gut resonated with all of these. They would talk about how there's another place that we go to after we leave our bodies. So yeah, so they died. They had accidents that they died, and then they came back after a certain amount of minutes. But when they died, spirit left. They all talked about the same thing, how they went to this other place, pretty much heaven or back home, back to our source. They describe that place as beautiful, peaceful, and full of love. So yeah, that's what they all have. A bunch of similarities, but they all said it was beautiful, peaceful, and full of love. Like they never experienced that type of love before. They call that place our real home. Some might call it source, others call it God, consciousness, the universe, the light, which is the creation and expansion of everything. Everything that has life to it is God or an expression of it that wants to keep expanding itself because, sorry, everyone and everything is a part of consciousness expressing itself through different ways. Our sun is consciousness, all the stars are consciousness, all the planets are consciousness, all the life on all the planets is consciousness, all the universes are consciousness, all thoughts are part of consciousness. So pretty much saying that everything is consciousness, even the thoughts, the stuff that can be seen. But yeah, all of life existence is it's part of God or source or energy, whatever you want to call it. The thing that lives within us in our body when we're alive, but once we die, it goes on to somewhere else. So so back to reading this. They say that our energy is immortal and infinite in a way, since energy cannot be destroyed, only transformed. Okay, before we were physically born, we were part of consciousness, and once we were conceived, we sparked off from source to come here for the experience to see how consciousness can keep expanding itself through physical form. Life is basically a playground for us to learn and create. We are here to help create this life. That's one of the purposes of being here. The main reasons are for us to remember how to love, help, and care for one another since we come from the same source. So that's very important. Most of these people that went to the other side, and most of them that were guided, they didn't want to come back. They were sent back over here anyways. They were told that when they come back, they have to learn how to love other people, how to establish connections with other people, how to tell people, close ones, friends, how much they're grateful for them, how much they love them. Um, that's part of why we're here. Um, so back to reading this. Since in a way, God's consciousness is experiencing itself through many different physical viewpoints. So when you are doing something bad to someone, you are acting that way towards God. It's the same when you are helping or caring for someone else. You are helping and caring for God. So that's why you have to be nice to people because you're only helping God. And if you're being mean to people, then you're being mean to God. Like something that goes along with this is something that I was thinking about the other day. Like um, when you're a little kid, you want to experience a lot of things. Like say, for example, you're in a vending machine and where you get snacks or whatever. Say whether your mom or dad gave you money to buy something or not, or you're just standing there staring at it, wondering how you would feel to mess with it and grab some snacks, or say you actually do get to experience the feeling of getting a snack or whatever you want from a vending machine. So now you already fast forward to when you're an adult, and now say you have money in your pocket and you're sitting down waiting for your food or whatever, and you see a little kid right there looking at a vending machine. Um, God put you there for a reason with that money, so you could help him, God, or the little kid experience what you experienced back then, or what you would have liked to experience back then. And by doing so, God is going to put somebody in the future in the right place to help you out with whatever it is that you want to do in your life. Like, that's how God works and helps each other out. So you have to play ball and be synchronized and be the same frequency of helping, loving, expanding, uh, helping life grow, all kinds of life. Okay, so another reason we are here, according to them, is because Source wanted to experience stuff that can only be experienced through physical form, like enjoying a delicious meal, loving a partner, being a parent, stuff you can't really experience through spirit form. So yeah, it's like a playground. We just want to experience um, and also there's a lot of bad things in this world, and I'll go into it another episode of why we chose to it. It's pretty much freedom of, it's just we the freedom of choice that we could just decide to, but we'll go into another. I don't want to derail too much from this. Okay, so yeah, spirit just wanted to experience how it is to like taste food. We can't really experience that in spirit form. Be a parent, stuff like that. Just or how to be competitive in a basketball team, stuff like that. Like that could only be experienced in a physical form. That's another reason why we decided to create this, and also because it's infinite. It's everything is possible. Some refer to our physical lives here as a temporary state of being, or like a dream that our soul is experiencing. That when we die, it wakes up from the experience and goes back home to its normal state of being. Once our soul goes back home, our problems, pains, and sufferings vanish and disappear as if it were all just an illusion. All this new information began to change my perception of life. So yeah, it's pretty much what everybody agrees upon. That it's not, I don't want to say it's a joke, but we just came here to experience it. Like whether we come here to experience the worst possible life there is, or the richest, more abundant life there is. At the end of the day, we're all going to the same place, and we could always choose infinite stuff. So it's not the end. It's not like, oh, he had a better life than me, or why did I suffer? Because we chose to be the brave ones to come here and just know if it's good or not. To just in the future keep uh, repeating and evolving, and hopefully we experience nothing but good things. Um, yeah, so nothing but good physical things, like maybe millions and billions of years from now, like, you know, because we already learned from our mistakes and what we don't like to experience and feel, so we're gonna not try to repeat that, but we must remember, and it's really, really hard to remember as a human. But let's keep going here. Most near-death experiencers went through what we would call a life review. They described it as being able to experience their life events again, not just through their own perspectives, but also through other people's perspectives. So they were able to feel all the emotions they had caused others. Like if they had caused someone happiness or joy, they felt that. Or if they had caused pain to someone, they felt that pain too, which is why most changed after their experiences and are now more compassionate and conscious towards people. This can also be an example of how we are all one and connected in a way. So yeah, they went through a life review, and shockingly to them, they experienced exactly what they caused other people to feel. Like if they caused people happiness, and they felt that happiness like themselves. If they caused sufferings to people, then they felt what the same sufferings they caused to others. So now that they came back to life, now for the rest of their life, they're more caring for people because they know how what they're feeling, what they will feel, what they're gonna feel. Okay. Something that amazed me was that some near-death experiences also experienced being out of their bodies and were able to see their dead bodies during the time the medics were trying to bring them back to life. And when they came back to life, they were able to recount to the medical staff with detail on the procedures they were each performing the whole entire time. Yeah, this is not the big. Okay, so pretty much, yeah, some of them when they were dead, their spirit form was hovering. They were able to see everything or know everything because time didn't exist. So you instantly know I see everything. So they were able to see the the medic staff trying to revive them the whole time. And when they came back to life, sometimes they even told everyone, "Hey, you were doing this to me," and they were shocked. But the medics were shocked also for the fact that the patients had come back to life after being dead for minutes. Yeah, some they were also mainly shocked because they were dead for like sometimes even half an hour, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but still, it's not normal. Or I don't think it's possible for someone to be clinically dead for 15 minutes and then out of nowhere you come back to life. Like you get scared. That's the energy that brought them back to life. That's God. That's it talks. I talk about it in here too. In many instances, the survivors' bodies healed back to normal at a very rapid pace compared to what would be considered normal. I believe it's due to the same source of energy that brought them back to life, the same energy that makes a plant grow, the same energy that wants to express itself through your desires, the same energy that creates everything, or the power of God. So yeah, that's the energy that I'm talking about. So some this guys or these people that had accidents, their bodies probably went through something traumatic, but then their bodies were able to heal back to normal like faster than what normally would take a normal body to heal back up. But that's all God's energy or healing itself back. When they came back to life, some described time on the other side as being non existent or like knowing everything at the same time, which is why being dead for a few minutes felt like hours or even years to them. Yeah, they described that when they were on the other side, sometimes they thought they were dead for like 30 years, just for example, or like 3 years, but then they were like only gone for like 3, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But um, so time is irrelevant. In other words, in the other side, everything happens instantaneously. Everything is like at the same instant. This is also probably the reason why at times we are able to sense or know certain things right before they occur, or when we sense that something bad is about to happen that makes us get out the way. because we are somehow unconsciously tapping into higher consciousness and are able to acquire certain information from the field. So most of us have had those times, those when you're like focused or very in the moment, and you're able to receive some information and know what's about to happen, or somebody's about to say something, or you know something's about to happen because the way things are going. So you're you're more you're more receptive to what's going on around you. That stuff that's going on around you, it's invisible. You can't see it, but it's information. Most people that have had near-death experiences claim they were sent back to Earth with extra knowledge and wisdom to spread around so that we can keep exploring this other spiritual realm that is within us. They no longer fear death, and some cannot wait to go back to that beautiful place to feel that love they once felt. It seems like their purpose is to show us that there is more to life than we know of, especially after our death. So this really caught my attention because growing up, I was all into the mind, the power of the mind. I went to school for psychology. Um, I always thought that the mind is very powerful and we could do a lot with it. So it turns out that we could. Um, and the energy that drives our mind um, keeps on living after we pass on this life. And that's a beautiful thing to know. So the next chapter is called meditation. And meditation is another sign that the life has been throwing at me for years, telling me meditation. I ignored it for months because it seems boring. It seemed boring, but it really isn't. It's not complicated. It's pretty simple. It's the benefits of it. It's really. The benefits are greater than what you're what you what you waste on it. You don't even know what you the time you spend on it. I don't want to call it waste because it's not a waste, but it's pretty much just breathing and being conscious of breathing and being in the moment. And it has a lot of benefits. Like it allows you to be more intuitive, to enhance your intuition. That way, you're more receptive to information that's around you, ideas, to connect to your higher self and stuff like that. And that's another thing that the near-death experiencers have in common. A bunch of them found meditation after their experience because they found out that when they're meditating, they feel very similar to when they were gone, when they were dead, when they were on the other side, because it's so beautiful and the knowledge, everything. Um, so meditating helps them in their regular life to go back to home or and be intuitive. And I try that out myself, and it has enhanced my life. Right now, every day is good. I ask for a good day, I get good days. Anything I ask for, I get. I'm always in a good things are always happening. Um, I got a job after this. After I gave up and surrendered, and let's continue reading here. So, meditation. I picked up meditation since that was one of the main topics most near-death experiences talked about. The reason behind that was because when they nearly died or were dead for a while, the place their spirit was at was beautiful and abundant, and it felt close to God's consciousness. Most of them didn't want to come back to Earth, but were sent back anyways to complete tasks they had not yet fulfilled, while others were sent back because it just wasn't their time yet. Their life lessons our souls need to learn, and if they are not learned in this lifetime, we are sent back to Earth until we overcome them. So yeah, like I talked about earlier, some of them didn't want to come back to Earth, but they were sent back primarily so they could share the information and have other people start knowing that, hey, expand your mind, your spiritual awareness, um, just to plant that seed on people's heads, or like also to spread kindness and love others, because that's how you. Some people learn by watching others, or that's how you teach by example. Sometimes just by being nice. That's how I've been my whole life. Like that's why I'm a nice person. Like even though bad things have happened to me, and even though I see people being bad, I'm still gonna not turn into a bad person or let that overtake me. I'm still going to keep being nice and kind, because that's the person I am. And shine light as much as you can. Um, there's okay. So some discover meditation. I'm trying to read back a little bit, make sure I don't forget anything that I want to talk about. It's like lessons. Yeah, they were also told that that's why reincarnation happens, because if you don't learn the lessons that you'll probably keep reincarnating until you realize what's going on or what you need to learn. That's why it's better to try to be receptive as much as you can, so you can learn the things that you need to learn, and then not keep and then move on to better things. Some discover meditation soon after and made a connection to when it can take your mind back to that similar awareness, that place they once experienced when they were once dead. When you slowly breathe in and out, you start to slow your brain waves down and begin to be more still and present in the moment. That will make it much easier to connect to source and to your subconscious. Our subconscious creates most of our personal experiences and reality. So here's when we start to get into manifesting and attracting and creating your life and stuff. Coincidentally, I found this out after just by going through the process. So it's meditation. Um, allows you to connect to your subconscious and to your higher self. The subconscious is important for meditation because that's the program. That's like the hardware, like in your computer. That's that's the software right there that runs the show, the subconscious. So our thinking mind is just when someone's asking you what's 2 plus 2, your thinking mind is the one thinking for the answer, and that only controls like up to 5% of what we could create or bring into our life existence. But our subconscious, it's a set of programs that's been with us, that's been developed since we were little kids, and that's pretty much what runs the show. And your life's not going to change. It's going to keep attracting the same things, whether they're good or bad, unless you change your subconscious. And we could all change our subconscious so that we could always get good things, have no bad things and no problems, and we could always have good things. You just have to be focused and aware and do the work, and it's not hard. And once you do it, and it's like a thermometer, like a baseline. Like once you set it to that point where everything's going good, then that's gonna be the normal. You're always good. That's why those people that are constantly getting lucky and things are always going good for them, because their baseline, they already set their thermometer, their thermostat, in that level. Sure, they might have like one or two bad things happen to them, but they quickly go back to their it is. Same thing with the people that always have bad things going on in their life, because their thermometer, it's down there, their baseline. Sure, they might get lucky once in a while, and good things might happen to them, but always going back to the normal, because that's normal for them. That's what's running in their subconscious. So I found out how to reprogram our subconscious. And that's the fun part about life. Meditation is the fastest and easiest way for me to change my subconscious, and there's no rules for this. Anybody could make their own rules about meditation. Could be simple, shouldn't be hard. Let's go on. Meditation is a tool to connect with our source, with our home or source. If you do it often, you will start to feel that safe feeling as if you were close to home. Yeah, that's undescribable feeling. Like when I first started feeling that feeling, it feels really, really good, and I became kind of like addicted to it. I'm not gonna lie, so it made me want to like, do it more and more because you just get your mind, your awareness to a certain point where you just feel happiness, bliss, and like peace. It's nothing could bother you, and like yeah, it's fun. Uh, but I'm already used to it, so that's how you can elevate your feelings. To talk about that later on too. Um, you will also start to notice differences in your life for the better. Yeah, many differences, like many, countless. Um, your stress is better. I think I'll talk about this later on, but you think better, you make better decisions, it makes it easier to lose weight, to eat better. Like that's how I might make an episode later on in the future. I already thought about it today on how to lose weight through the law of attraction, through using your imagination. Because that's how to change anything in the outside, it first must come from within you, from your imagination. Like you must first identify as that person, as a thing that wants to see that it's already seen it, and then it's gonna reflect in the outside. That's how it works. Um, it's nice since one doesn't need to know the exact science and details behind it for it to work. It just does. It's like a life hack in a way. That's the way I see meditation. Like you don't really have to know the science going on, be like what's going on in your mind. Just do it, and it's gonna work eventually. Like they talk about, I'm not that much of an expert about the chakras and stuff like that, but when you're meditating, it helps with your chakras, and you get to this point where up here, and then it releases all this dopamine or whatever. It's pretty neat. So meditation has also been linked to improvements in mental and physical health by personal experiences, and many people could talk about that. I'm sure there's many examples online about that. Personally, it has helped me with stress, doubts, anxiety, and with having a clear mind so that I can visualize better for myself. So yeah, when I visualize and I expect those visions to be true, then they come true. Like nothing has failed yet. I might have some pending. I know they're gonna come true, but nothing has not materialized. If you visualize correctly. If you're having trouble meditating, you must first clear out your thoughts. Especially, okay, so here we get into the problem with some people might be like, oh, I can't meditate, I can't visualize. I never really had that problem, so I can't really. Um, okay, we will give a lot of help and my thoughts on how to, and I know this helps on how to, because just because you can't meditate or visualize doesn't mean that you're gonna stay like that for the rest of your life. Just like if you're a skinny person and you want to be buff, or if you want to be buff and you're out of shape and you're fat, doesn't mean you're gonna stay fat. You have you're gonna stay fat for the rest of your life. You can still work out and shape your body around. You know, it might take more work, but things are always changing. So just because you're a certain way doesn't mean you have to stay like that for the rest of your life. So let's go back to this. If you're having trouble meditating, you must first clear out your thoughts. So this helps out a lot. First, clear out your thoughts. Like, don't worry about anything that's going on in your life or nothing. And that's part of meditating, especially all the negative thoughts, worries, and drama in your life. Let them go away. They are just thoughts and ideas that are not really part of you. They're not part of you. You're thinking of them, okay? You only make them part of you and give them power because you are thinking of them. So just, you're not, so you, yeah, so they're not part of you. Meditation can be like lifting weights. At first, you can lift 60 pounds. But if you start with 10 pounds and 20 pounds, eventually you'll get to your goal. It's the same thing with meditation. You can start meditating for 1 to 2 minutes, then go up to 5 minutes and 10 minutes and so on. Eventually you will get better each and every time, little by little. Anyone can meditate, and if you think you can't, that's just a limiting belief you have. So here we start talking about limiting beliefs, and this is a very important topic that we need to go over. We might talk about it today, but I'm sure I'll make another video on limiting beliefs later on in its own video. You can always change your limiting beliefs through your subconscious. So there we go, your subconscious. So let's keep reading here. Meditation, okay. Meditation can help you connect with the subconscious, and that can be important because the subconscious controls most of our reality. And when you connect with it, you can reprogram it. If you are experiencing bad events in your life over and over, you can reprogram your subconscious to bring you a better future. Many people have different kinds of limiting beliefs, such as I'm not worthy. So here are examples of what a limiting belief are. I'm not worthy. Money is hard to make. Love is hard to find. I'm not good enough. I never have enough money. I always have bad luck. Jobs are hard to find, and so on. I had some of these, and now it's the opposite. Those beliefs are not true. They are just limiting beliefs our minds have been created through our lives based upon our different life circumstances and childhood events. So they say that from the ages up to you're about 7 as a little kid, that's when you get the most programs in your life. So whatever your soul, your energy, your body, your mind sucked in those years, it's pretty much what's going to determine the rest of your life, unless you're conscious about it and aware and change them. But if you grew up thinking that money is super easy to make, then you're always going to find yourself in good situations, good lucks, closing good deals, making good money. Money's going to be easy for you to make. If you grew up believing that money is hard to make and that you need to work super, super hard to make money, then you're going to follow that life, that frequency. That's that channel. That's where you're going to go. But you don't have to stay there forever. You could always change frequencies, like change your channel through your subconscious breathing. Drink some water. So yeah, those limiting beliefs. Those beliefs are not true. They are just limiting beliefs. Okay? So I read all that. The fact that we acknowledge them and give them our awareness is what makes them real, and the reason why similar events keep reoccurring in our personal lives. So the person that's rich and thinks that money is easy to make keeps experiencing the same similar events in its life because that's the belief, that's what their mentality, that's what they're attracting, that's the frequency they're on. The person that thinks that jobs are hard to find is it's always has trouble finding jobs because they identify as a person that jobs are hard to make, that they only get the worst jobs, that whatever it is that you're vibing, that your frequency, that you're identifying as that person that you're being. This is not to shame on anybody at all. It's just so we could be aware of what's going on and change it and have a better future. I want to help everybody. I want everybody to have good days and good things to happen to them. Okay, but remember, we are here to learn. And once we learn how to reprogram our subconscious, we can change our limiting beliefs so that our life circumstances can then change. It's important to get rid of limiting beliefs and to not attach yourself with them so that you can be able to feed your subconscious new beliefs such as money is easy to make, jobs are easy to find, good things happen to me, I'm in a loving relationship, etc. So that's something I went through. Like, I used to ask myself, how do I change my limiting beliefs? And it's pretty simple. You just have to start thinking of the opposite and focus on the opposite. Don't pay attention to the bad things. Or example, like if you think um, money is hard to make, don't think that. Don't focus on that. Don't worry about it. Don't give your attention to that. Just start. It's telling your imagination first. And this is getting a little bit ahead of everything, but you have to remember it's all in your imagination. So you have to start thinking about stuff that, oh, mine is easy to make, and feeling it like, oh, it's easy to make, mine is easy to make, and I'll just focus on that. Don't worry about how. That that's up ahead as well too. We don't. That's not our job to worry about how. Life, God, the energy, that's its job. That God is gonna worry about how it's gonna bring it to you. You just have to be in the feeling and expecting it and knowing that it's already done and possible and like and it's normal and that feeling that you just believe it. Just how you believe how um, jobs are hard to find and that bad things happen to you. Just the same way that you believe that and it happens to you, just believe the opposite and then eventually it's going to come to you. It's things are going to change to reflect what you're feeling, and it's not about doing it once for like and then that's it. Um, you have to be in that frequency, in that state of feeling, in that mentality, in that imagination every day, every hour until it happens, until it becomes normal, and then it's gonna. That's how it's gonna. You're gonna attract it to you. It's don't expect to just have one session and meditate and be in that feeling that money's easy to make, and then 2 hours later, um, start complaining about bills or start feeling that you don't have money to pay this or start that's you focusing on stuff of lack that you don't have that you're going back to the old person and then things aren't going to change that way. You have to ignore the things that make you feel that way or it just and that we'll talk about more in detail in another video on how to ignore and how to all that stuff, but it's pretty much I'm gonna tell you guys all the ins and outs. So that's what I went through. It's a lot about ignoring the 3D, the world. If you don't want it to be that way, if you want it to be that way, then yeah, pay attention to it. If you always getting lucky, always finding jobs, and yeah, keep identifying as that person that I was always getting lucky, that good things always happen to them. That way, it keeps happening. But if bad things are happening, then you have to ignore them and start imagining and living in your imagination every day until it happens. That's how you change things. It's I just told you guys pretty much everything. That's how you change your body to lose weight. Like for example, um, yeah, I'll make another video about this in way later. But, mhm. So back to reading the book. We are also here to have fun, create, and relax because when our body is relaxed, it feels safe to create. It makes it easier to receive information. It will also allow you to see opportunities more clearly. When you are not relaxed, you can't create properly. It will also be hard to see opportunities and to act upon them. Okay, so this is important right here. This little paragraph that I just read is also going to require another video. This is why I wrote this book because it's pretty much everything like a guideline because I'm going to make videos on all these different subjects. This right here, what I just read, is going to talk about there's two different states of us being. We're in survival mode if you're like constantly feel threatened or like something's after you or like that you gotta pay this bill or like if you're worried or stressed about something, then right there you're not in the creative mode. You're not being God mode. You're not in the receiving mode. Now, if you're in a peaceful, relaxed mode, that's what you want to be at. So you could visualize and create. So we that's what this talks about here, and I would make a detailed video on that as well. Uh, Getting rid of limiting beliefs will allow you to make room for your desires to show up, and it will help you get rid of any resistance you might have towards a certain topic. So that's pretty self explanatory, pretty simple, but it's important to know that for your life to change, you have to get rid of your limiting beliefs. That's how you make room to start thinking new beliefs, and therefore it's going to attract the new things in your life. I'm sure that makes sense. Pretty simple. Now, you can't receive what you don't believe in, so you must believe in new thoughts to see and receive new changes in your life. It's essential to empty out the mind, especially from stuff that doesn't benefit you, because if it's clutter, it won't allow you to make room to receive new guidance and information from higher consciousness. Thinking also, okay, so let me pause here real quick. This goes back to helping you how to clear out your mind so you can be able to meditate easier and receive. So that's why it's important to empty out your mind as much as possible from all the drama, all the stuff that's going, all the politics, all the stuff that's going out there that we don't that is just cluttering your mind. Like, and when you give attention to that, you take away attention from your dreams, your desires, how you want to create, but stuff that's easier for you to control that you can see in your life around you. Like if you want to surround yourself around good people, then you have to focus on that and stop worrying about like, oh, I always bump into or always get paired up when my coworkers are stuff like that. Like because you're focusing on that, then you're gonna get that. So just don't fight. It's hard because most of us are conditioned like that. Our mind, some might say that our mind's naturally always going towards the bad, always want to see the bad outcome, and I might feel that way too sometimes. Like it's just natural, but then the thing is to be aware of it, to catch yourself, so you don't let it keep keep doing it often, and once you start, cut it off so you don't develop the thinking of it. You just replace it with something good, and then start imagining something good and expecting for it to happen. And also action and thinking at the same time, it's a good combination. And we'll talk about that later on as well too. Uh, when you visualize to become a better athlete, a better whatever, better comedian, better writer, whatever it is that you trying to work towards. So thinking also requires energy. So if you stop thinking of stuff that is not important and save all that energy, you can then redirect it and focus it on something you desire and something that you want to create. So here we go into thinking, whether you know it or not. Thinking requires a lot of energy. You might not feel like it because we're used to thinking that energy is like physical doing, lifting, or working physically. But actually, if you work for 4 hours physically and somebody else works for 4 hours mentally, doing something mentally, you're gonna waste more energy. The person that was working mentally ended up draining itself from more energy than the person that did physically. So and it takes longer to regenerate that energy back. So thinking takes a lot of energy. Same thing with eating. Like that's why they say fasting is good because you save that energy and you can redirect it to self cure yourself. But that's another talk on something. But same thing with thinking. Like constantly thinking constantly throughout the day. Like I'm sure you guys know that person that's always thinking. Like you're wasting energy. Like so when you're meditating, you're still and you're not thinking. You're just like not thinking of nothing. You're saving energy. You're meditating. You then start visualizing. You could harness all the energy to so that when you visualize, um, you send it out with energy and with emotion, and then it's easier. It can manifest faster and easier, much more easier, and it can get you into that feeling much naturally. And be more focused. So this next chapter, this is still the same chapter. This next paragraph is very important. Let me start reading it. I realize that you don't have to meditate for long periods of time. 3 to 5 minutes whenever you feel like it should be enough. The most important thing is knowing what thoughts you put your awareness and attention to throughout the day. We must pay attention to our thoughts and not think of anything negative or imagine any negative outcomes. We must try to condition ourselves not to react to problems and things that might upset us, that might make us start thinking in a negative way. This is like daily. Like this is stuff that we must be aware of daily to improve our lives and make it easier for us to manifest. If you end up getting upset or bothered by something, don't react in a negative way. Instead, try to shift your awareness and redirect that energy to create something positive for yourself or for others. We must try to focus our awareness on what we want to be and our desires. If a problem exists, imagine how it would feel when the problem is fixed. Make it true in the present moment and act as if the problem is already resolved in your imagination. Being in that knowing state is what will bring the solution to you in an effortless way. This is pretty much how I fix all my problems. Every time I see a problem or something, I don't react to it. I don't complain about it. I don't ask why. Everything is it's a chance to learn. What I do is I start imagining the solution or the outcome in my imagination and know that it's already done. I'm like, oh, okay, that's done. And then I forget about it. And then when I least expect it, the problem fixes itself. Or at work, this happens a lot. Every time there's a problem um, and I'm being called, um, I imagine the problem being fixed, and then it just fixes itself. Or the solution, or when I'm in the present moment, the solution, the information, the solution comes to my mind on how to fix it, what to do, what to say, what to fix. That's how things work. That's how you receive guidance or intuition from your higher self. You just ask yourself how it would feel for the problem to be solved. Like when I didn't have a job, I didn't focus about me not having a job or jobs being hard to find. I put all my attention and all my focus and awareness on jobs are easy to find, that I already have a job, um, that everybody wants to hire me, that I'm gonna find it, that I found a job right away, that it's easy for me to find a job. So I was in that frequency, in that feeling, in that expectation, and that's what allowed me to get a job at the exact time when I had to get a job. Um, so and it's hard because it's hard to not pay attention to what is to the problem, to react, to get upset. Um, it's hard, but if you react to it, then it's gonna keep happening in your life. Like you're gonna attract it again in your life. Other than that time that where you reacted to it, it's gonna the life's gonna put you in a circumstance in the future again that's gonna um, try to bring the same emotions out of you, because that's how you. It's just a reflection, a mirror. So you have to not react. Instead of reacting in a bad way, react in a good way. Act like something good happened, and then that way it'll bring that in the future to you, the good outcome, the good positive, the good feeling to you in the future, instead of repeating itself in a bad way. That's how you cut the chain and turn it into good, and then be grateful, and then know that it's normal for you to receive those things, and then here we go again. Be happy for it and expect it. Don't be like, oh, I just got lucky. Bad things always happen to you. Then you're gonna go back to bad things happening to you. But if you're like, oh, it's normal for me to always good things happen to me, then that's how things are gonna start changing. Don't think about problems and put your awareness on them. If you want to change the problem, you must detach. It's a long chapter. Uh, if you want to change the problem, you must detach from it and attach your energy to the same frequencies as the solution. So yeah, pretty much about attachment and your energy is what you're focusing on stuff. So you don't want to focus or attach your energy or anything to problems because you're just gonna keep bringing more of that. Just detach from that and start attaching your energy and your focus on solutions, on how would it feel if blah 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 happened to make me feel good or things that want to go my way. And just focus on that and act until it's normal for you. And you know it's normal. When you pay attention and focus on the problem, you keep it relevant and make it last longer. You might even start to attract more problems because that is what you are putting your awareness on, a problem. That's why you will notice that the opposite happens when you don't pay attention to the problem and focus more on the solution. The problem goes away and gets replaced with a solution. Now, every time a problem shows up in my life, it doesn't last much since I quickly vision what the solution would feel like, then let it go, and eventually the problem naturally fixes itself, or ideas will eventually come to mind that will lead me to the solution. Just again, recapping what I said earlier. Through meditation, I learned that we shouldn't fear anything because it's essentially, so this is important here, fear. That's another thing that we have to keep in mind, not to fear things, because when you, it's essentially the same as giving your power and attention away to whatever it is that you're fearing. So when you fear something, you're focusing on that, so you're going to get more of that. It's pretty much that. That's why wishing for bad things to not happen is okay. So now we're going, okay, so listen up here. This is important. That's why wishing for bad things to not happen is not the right way to ask for things, but instead you must ask for good things to happen and expect them. Okay, so praying. When people pray and don't pray, be like, oh, I hope this doesn't happen to me, or because you're, in a way, you're putting your attention to the bad thing. So, like, you're hoping that a bad thing doesn't happen, so you're focusing on bad things. Instead, the right way to ask for things is to say, oh, hopefully good things happen to me, or, I mean, let, expect good things, or ask for good things to happen to you, for good health, expect good health, good circumstances, good luck, because you're focusing on the positive, on the good. Okay. So here we have an example. For example, don't wish that you don't get sick or a certain disease. Yeah, don't do that. Instead, always imagine and feel like being in a strong, healthy body. Or instead of asking not to get into accidents, it's best to visualize yourself getting safely to your destinations. So yeah, those are just examples. Just always visualize good outcomes instead of hoping for nothing bad, for not the bad things to not happen. Instead of asking for no problems to appear during your day, ask and expect for a good day to happen. At the end of the day, once you receive what you ask for, give thanks and ask for more similar situations or whatever it is that you desire next. Through meditation, I also learned that the future is not set and planned out, that it can have many different outcomes depending on what we focus our awareness on. It reminded me of the near-death experiences when they said that they went into. So now we're going back to the near-death experiences. They went into the future and saw many different outcomes. Oh yeah, so the near-death experiences, most of them, some of them, they say they were able to see all the different outcomes that can occur here on Earth, depending on the actions that we as humanity take as a whole. So nothing is set in stone. So depending on what we do, will open up the door for more different opportunities to choose from and so forth. We are always evolving. Awareness is the main thing that decides what the next segments of our personal lives will be, as well as the next levels of evolution for humanity. So pretty much awareness is infinite. It was here before we were born, and we're gonna be aware when we die, our body dies. Our awareness is still going to be um, alive, or whatever you want to call it. We're still gonna be in awareness. So meanwhile, while we're here on this body, on this earth, our awareness, whatever we focus on, is what's we're gonna help shape our reality, our world, based on our awareness. So we're constantly all um, being aware of wars, and then we're gonna create more wars around the world. So if you're worried more about being safe and good things happening to you, then you're gonna see more of that in your life. So depends on what you put your awareness on is what's you're gonna bring into your life. So here I'm going to stop here for today. That's more than an hour here. I'm already pretty much halfway through the book. Uh, Another day during the week, this upcoming days, I will read the next chapters because I feel like this is enough for today. Um, I'm really glad I'm starting this journey with you guys. I can't wait to keep talking with you guys about all this stuff. Eventually, hopefully, we discuss as many topics as we can about our minds, um, anything. I mean, like I said, I'm thinking of making. It's mainly going to be about imagination, make law of attraction, God, helping God create better life through our imagination and our us individually, so we can have better lives, better businesses, like whatever it is that you want in your life, help you achieve that. Um, I'm gonna talk about, like I said, talk about earlier. I want to make a video on how to lose weight through your imagination. It has nothing to do with working out, how to do workouts, this, what to eat, none of that stuff. All that stuff, you get guided to do all that stuff. Once you're in the flow, once you're connected to source, and you listen to it, it'll tell you when to work out, how to work out, what to eat, when to eat. But first, you have to identify as a person that is healthy, that is in a good physical body, and maintain that vibration every single day. And then, and then you're gonna start receiving downloads of what to eat, what to work out. It's gonna be easier for you instead of you trying to like force yourself to eat or to go to the gym when you don't want to because you're identifying as a person that is not that person. You're identifying as an old person, as the old person that is not fit. So that's pretty much an example. But um, yeah, we'll let you guys go. My name's Alex again, and hope to see you guys soon. Take care.